y'all, welcome back to The Simple Way. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I make my chicken Alfredo, okay? So I'm starting here with clean, dry, boneless, skinless, split chicken breast. Okay, now ordinarily I would flatten this out, but since it has a pretty even thickness all around, I'm just gonna leave it as is. And I'll just add some olive oil here on both sides, and then I'm gonna add my seasoning. Not plural, just one seasoning, but a seasoning blend. Okay, anyway. So yeah, now listen, if your chicken isn't as flat as mine's, then I highly recommend you flatten it out so that once you sear it, it'll cook evenly, okay? And a good easy way to flatten out your chicken would be to simply just pound on it a few times with a rolling pin. You can even use a meat cleaver, a wine bottle, a glass plate. Just get it flat, okay? So I'm using here Weber's Kickin chicken seasoning. This is really good. I frequently use this whenever I'm making chicken Alfredo. This is a really good seasoning blend, so if you have not tried it, give it a try. You know, if it's not your cup of tea, you don't want it, just go ahead and season your chicken however you like, okay? I'll be using 10 garlic cloves here. These have already been peeled. I'm just gonna mince them really good. 8 ounces of cream cheese, okay? If you don't want a lot of cream cheese in your sauce, that is okay. You can just do about 4 ounces instead of 8. And you wanna cut your cream cheese into, like, you know, little cubes, just like this. I'm also using sun-dried tomatoes, okay? Now I'm gonna slice these into small chunks. Listen. This is optional, so you don't have to add this if you don't want to. I like them because they add a nice tangy flavor to the Alfredo sauce as well as some color, okay? Let's check out our other ingredients. I'm using 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream, okay? So that's basically 2 cups, okay? Then I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, a few ounces of shaved Parmesan cheese, and 8 ounces of fettuccine noodles. I'm going to heat my skillet to high heat, add about 2 tablespoons of canola oil, okay? Then I'll add the chicken once the oil is hot, okay? So after adding the chicken, I'm gonna reduce the heat down to medium high, okay? So I started out at high, just reduce it down to medium high, okay? So, and I, just don't want it to cook too fast and burn, okay? However, I do want this to have a nice little char on both sides. So I'm gonna let this cook for about 4 to 5 minutes per side. So after cooking both chicken breasts, I'm going to make the Alfredo sauce in that same skillet right there. I know y'all like, wait. No, I'm gonna make it in that same skillet, okay? So with my skillet on medium-low heat, now I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and I'll let this melt down a bit. Then I'll add the minced garlic, okay? And I'm just gonna let this cook until the garlic becomes nice and fragrant. Okay, and that only took about 1.5 minutes. I'm gonna add a splash of white wine to deglaze the pan. Okay, this is also going to give us that extra depth of flavor. Okay, seriously though. Now listen, if you prefer not to use alcohol, another good option would be to just use a little chicken or vegetable broth or maybe a little water, and you want to gently scrape all of those bits, the AKA fond, off of the bottom of the skillet, just like this, okay? So after this reduces down a bit, I'm going to add the cream cheese. Okay, I'm just going in with my wooden spoon, not doing anything too special here. I was really just trying to break it up. The cream cheese was really cold and just stuck together. Okay, so now I'm adding in my heavy cream. Okay, then I'm going to turn the heat down to low and give this a good stir, mixing everything together. I want to allow the flavors to marry. So give it a good mix. Let those flavors begin to marry. Okay. And you want to let this simmer for about 3 minutes or until the cream cheese has melted. Okay, and I'll add in the sun-dried tomatoes, the Parmesan cheese. Now I'm just gonna let this simmer for about 2 minutes. I just wanted that Parmesan cheese to now melt. You know, you just want to slowly incorporate these ingredients and allow your cheese to melt. Okay, then you can season this with your seasonings. Now I'm just going to use some sea salt because a lot of the flavor from the chicken was in the the pan, and I deglazed the pan with the white wine, so I didn't really feel like I needed to do too much with seasonings here. So I'm just gonna again just do sea salt. Okay, and I'm just going to season to taste. So when you do yours, just season to taste. Okay, and once all of your cheese has melted, you can go ahead and turn your heat off. Okay, and as an option, you can add some fresh parsley to your sauce. Okay, and this is going to give it a nice color, and it's just going to make your sauce look really beautiful. Like, it's going to look really good. It's going to taste good, but it's really going to look really good. Okay. When you make your fettuccine, try to cook it so that it can be finished at the same time as your sauce, okay? So you want to heat your water to high heat, bring it to a boil if possible. If not, just get it really good and hot. Then you're going to add in a good amount of salt, okay? Then add in your fettuccine. You just want to let this cook until it's as soft as you like, okay? Then we're going to add this to our sauce. And again, try to have them both done at the same time if possible. And the reason for that is because that Alfredo sauce is going to really thicken as it sits. And it's going to, already be thick enough and nice and creamy because of that cream cheese. So you don't want it to get too thick. But if that does happen to you, you could always use some of that pasta water to your Alfredo sauce just to thin it down, thin it down a bit. And then not only that, like, I know you want your food served hot and fresh. Everybody wants hot food. So now here's the chicken. I'm just going to slice it up just like this. As you can see, I got a nice little char on that. Got a nice char on that chicken, right? So I'm just going to cut it up like this. This chicken was really good and juicy. It was so good. So now let's plate this up. You are going to add your creamy fettuccine Alfredo on top of your plate, just like this. Add the chicken on top. And yeah, this came together and it was just so good. So listen, I know this recipe is not really traditional, okay? So if you want something more traditional, maybe you're not really feeling this one too much. I did make chicken Alfredo a few years ago, or a couple of years ago. I think it was 2 years. Go ahead, check out that video. You might like that one better. But however, this one was really good. Hopefully you guys will try it and just let me know how it turned out for you. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch y'all in my next video.